This show is sponsored by Finesse Sports Entertainment. Finesse specializes in live events, corporate team building, and 5v5 soccer tournaments. You can check them out on Facebook and on Instagram at finesse.se. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Terence the Network. Welcome to the show once again. Today, I am interviewing Zonke, the ultra chick. I'm out at her house. We're in the north, baby. Let's go check it out. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the network. I am your host, Terence the Network. Thank you for tuning in. Today I have got the ultra chick next to me, Zonke, queen of the pack, the marathon runner. Now, today I would just like to thank her for being on the show. Zonke, thank you so much for joining us. It is an honor for you to be here. I'm happy that we finally got to do this. And yeah, you're more than welcome to introduce yourself to the viewers that are watching. And after that, we will get into it.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
I'm happy that we actually got to do this finally. It's been long in the making.
Yeah,
but
true.
So yeah, in short, I'm Zonke Mtetwa. I'm the Ultra Chick. I'm the founder of the Pack Riding, which is an all-women's running movement founded to create a safe and inclusive space for women to run.
Perfect. Anyway, so Zonke, first, like I'll say it again, thank you for being on the show. I just want to ask, where did your love for running start, and which year did you say, you know what, I'm fully going in with this now?
It must have been like 2013, and like I was just feeling very not good within myself, and I kind of felt like I needed an outlet, and a way to keep active and fit. I tried gym didn't work for me, and then when a friend invited me to a run, I was like, okay, cool, maybe I can vibe with this, But like what I loved about running was not just the running itself, but like the community and the people, and the fact that I could always make a point to actually hang out afterwards. So the social elements, it was quite appealing to me, and I think that's what hooked me initially. And then over time, like 3Ks was a bit difficult at the beginning, but like getting used to it and learning how to breathe and learning how to optimize my runs helped me, and that's when I became a more regular runner.
And then I know also you done the marathon. How many marathons have you done, like under your belt now that you can say, these two I'm proud of, these two I'm not so,
So I've done 5 marathons and I've done 4 ultras. No, I lied, 5 ultras.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sure.
So an ultra marathon is when you go above the 42-kilometer mark.
Okay.
So I guess the key highlights here are 2 oceans as well as Comrades. So I've run Comrades twice, which the longest distance I've run there was 90.1 kilometers. So yeah, that's probably the one I'm most proud of. The least proud of would probably be my first marathon, which is the Soweto Marathon. I was a novice runner and I didn't know how to run smart, but it was a good way for me to kind of gauge and learn what I had to do better moving forward. So I'd say my first marathon wasn't my best, but Comrades, the upper run was completely worth it, and that's my favorite run.
Yeah, 91 kg, you say?
90.1.
90.1. That's crazy. Yeah. And then also I wanted to ask the preparation before. What's that like? Like, do you prepare a week or 2 days or 3 days? I'm speaking like the night before the race.
Okay.
Yeah.
The night before, I think it's important to understand like what your body responds to. Some people use gels, some people, to kind of, fuel yourself up with energies, across the run. So like you'll break it up to say, okay, cool, over the 90k period, I'll take gels every 10k, so whatever the case is. I think the worst thing for any runner is to go into the run with a lot of energy and then for that to deplete. So in order for your energy stores to remain up, you have to keep taking either gels or drinks or whatever the case may be. I work best with gels, so that's what I use. So like it's ensuring that I have those in my little pockets.
All right.
So I can run with them and take them as I need to. Another thing is like chafing is a really, really real thing. Yeah. So like make sure you have your Vaseline, you put it on all the key areas, like in between your thighs, where the fabric will rub against your skin. Basically.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why you'll see that some men sometimes like have like bleeding nipples.
Oh yes.
So little things like that, have your plasters ready, etc. Like the night before.
So you need to make sure you packed out all.
Make sure you have everything you need, because little things like that can mess up your entire run. So you don't want to be feeling uncomfortable or to be blistering, etc. So little things like that help. Another thing is to carb load. So like make sure you get your carbs in the day before, so you can have like enough energy for the run. And just have your gear ready. Like for me, if I think I'm gonna be looking good on the road, like that motivates me to like go out there and kill it. So like making sure you have everything you need, whether that is wearing the right sports bra, having the right vest, having the right shorts that are like dry fit, and can, kind of get dry quickly, as opposed to fabric that holds water, that's going to hold you down. So little things like that, The night before, definitely get enough rest, and do your thing.
As you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about preparation, For those of you that are out there running or you still want to run, trust me, you're more than welcome to follow Zonke on Instagram. I know you've had some stuff we speak about running on your page, if I'm correct. So, and then also I wanted to ask, in terms of like the pack, what inspired that whole thing? How you put it together, how people, motivated you and saying, okay, do this thing,
Yeah, so with the pack, it was like, the community spirit of the running world was like so key for me. And, when I was talking to my girlfriends, trying to get them into running, that they had some concerns, and I understood that maybe the way it was and the format, it was in, didn't really speak to them. So I thought, let me create a community or a space for women specifically, where they would come, even if you are the last runner, you wouldn't feel any type of way about it. There'd always be someone running with you. So we cater specifically for new runners. So like, if you are starting out, so people feel comfortable and don't feel like they're holding anyone back, or whatever the case may be, and where we're able to actually impart and inform people on the best practices to follow to become better runners. So that was what it was. It was like tying in the running piece with an education piece, but also like formulating that for women so they could find a space that was specifically for them.
Powerful stuff. And how would you motivate women that are out there and that want to run and want to get their bodies into shape? What would your maybe 5 keywords be for someone that would like to get into the running industry?
I'd say like go for it, do it. I think the reward is so huge, and I think a lot of things, or something that holds people back, is just starting. And I think it's just taking the initiative to say, okay, cool, let me put my shoes on and go out. And then once that is done, to remain consistent, because doing something once and then not doing it again kind of defeats the purpose. And also find your why. Why are you running? I think defining the reason why helps make it easier, if that makes any sense. It shouldn't come from anyone else to say running is cool, or running will, why do you want to run? Understanding that and connecting with that makes it much easier for you to wake up and get it done. So that's what I'd say, is like find your why, do it, be consistent, enjoy it. That's very, very key. And like, don't put pressure on yourself. I think people have this mentality to say, oh, so and so is running at 5 minutes per kilometer, so I need to be running at that. It's like, enjoy your journey. It's personal to you. If you're running at 8 minutes per kilometer, great. You're still getting it done. So don't be hard on yourself.
So basically, just do it and enjoy yourself. And then I'd like to speak to you also about like what you do besides the running, your hobbies and stuff like that, your spare time. Well, how do you use that?
So I'm a very creative person. So I think when I'm not running or I'm not working, I take the time out to actually work towards my creative kind of projects, if you'd call it that. So I like writing. I used to write music once upon a time, actually. So like little things like that no one else will necessarily hear, but like things that actually fuel my soul. I also do a bit of video content. You'll check on my page. Concepts around like photography, etc. So like I think that's a good way for me to kind of balance everything out, because otherwise you're doing a lot of something and not necessarily things for yourself. So just carving out time to be creative and go into myself. That's what I do.
And then what inspires you as an individual?
What inspires me is being told I can't do something. That's literally it. I think it's very important. Like the reason why I started running outreach is because there was this notion that if they were for a particular type of runner, and it was a very male-dominated space then. And I was like, you know what? Let me actually break down these stereotypes. Tell me I can't do something and I'll do it. So that always pushes me to kind of go the extra mile. So
and where do you see yourself? 2 years from now, 5 years? Like any goals that you would like to share with us?
2 years from now, I'd actually, love to see the pack become a lifestyle brand. I think that's very key, like evolving. It started off, from running, but like we've been getting into, unpacked, where we talk about different, topics. around women's shared experiences. We've gone into unwind, where we're doing yoga practices. We've got the runaways, which were actually like getaways and retreats for women. So like looking at wellness from a holistic perspective as opposed to just one kind of narrative. I think that's very important, and like shaping it so it speaks to every single woman as opposed to just women who want to run.
Oh, powerful. And then Zonke, I just want to ask you just to speak on, we know that the world is facing a lot of problems and troubles now, especially with gender-based violence, Black Lives Matter. What has been your take on, those two topics? Obviously, I'm sure you can go with the women first,
It's a very trying period. I think, being a woman and being Black, it's been very complex because you're dealing with two evils at the same time. So it was a very difficult time in that we felt very like overburdened with everything that was going on. We don't have the solutions. We can iron out, we can point it out and say, hey, government should be doing this X, Y, and Z, or whatever the case may be. But like without the buy-in from people, from society, from governments, etc., nothing's going to change. So you kind of feel very helpless. But I'm positive that with more kind of noise being made about certain things, and with more kind of I guess moves being made to kind of close the gap and make things better, that at some point or another it's going to actually yield a positive result, and we'll see a difference. But it is very disheartening that in 2020 we're still fighting the same battles, and a lot of things need to change.
Sure. We are living in a world where a lot of things are happening around us, but I've always said that the key is for us to always keep it going, and for to keep your head up during this time, during anything that you face. And then also I'd just like you to say some stuff just to a few women out there who are feeling discouraged, who feel like they're going through a lot of things right now, and not only women, but anyone, your voice could speak to a million other people. But just anything that you would like to say, and then from there on we're gonna close off the show, so yeah.
What I'd say to anyone is, the greatest power you have is being yourself. So like tap into your power. There's no one like you out there. So like when you feel like you don't matter, or you feel like something is too difficult for you to overcome, know that you were put here for a reason and for a purpose, and like learn to always push through. It isn't always easy to do so, but like and understanding who you are and helping people understand who you are and your worth is a very key thing. So yeah, just let your shine be what kind of makes you different in this world.
Sure. Very, very, very amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in once again. I'm gonna be out. My name is Terrence the Network. Sitting next to me is Zonke, the Ultra Chick. You can check her out on Instagram, check out her page, you can follow her. And as people, let us just all keep our heads up wherever we're going. This show is about talking and interacting with different people, creating exposure for the young, up and coming. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Pew, we out. Thank you for watching this episode of The Network. If you'd like to book yourself an interview, you're more than welcome